Thank you all for coming. My name's Simon Cooper. I've been in Darwin for about 4 years now. And this work, which is called One Size Fits All, was made not long after I first came here. And it's, to me, about a number of things. And one of the first things that I noticed when I moved to Darwin from New South Wales, that the male culture in Darwin is very kind of limited. This sort of range of, sort of ways you can be in Darwin is much more limited and restricted. And I kind of associate that with a certain uniformity. And I think, to me, the sort of masculine culture is nicely represented by a tie. So I wanted to make these large ties. And I made them in the form and hung them in the form of nooses, as just a sort of this idea that of a very sort of restrictive, dangerous male culture, which also I found in Darwin is closely connected with the large army presence here. I don't know, all these things, just as a sort of different cultural experience coming from Sydney to Darwin, I just sort of had this idea that this sort of restrictive, almost one-dimensional male culture here was kind of uniform and a little bit dangerous. I associated with the army. So I made these works in Vietnam, which gave it another sort of level of meaning. I was thinking about the connections between Darwin and Vietnam to do with the army and to do with the war, and this sort of ongoing travelling and connection between Vietnam and Darwin was another thing that I was thinking about. And also when I first came here was the beginning of the intervention, which to me was this fabulous kind of metaphor for this, what I think of as a kind of a dangerous male culture of the connection between politicians and the army. And again, I think of politicians as wearing ties. So all these kind of things sort of came together in this idea of these large ties using army camouflage and materials and in the form of nooses. So all those sort of things were going on in my head when I made these works as a sort of my sort of initial first response to coming to Darwin. But whether or not that's in the work, or whether or not that's just something that I was thinking about when I made them, it's a little bit difficult to say. So, any questions? No?
I think it's great to hear actually what they're about, because I wouldn't have guessed that.
I think often a lot of when I'm making work, there's lots of things that I'm thinking about and referring to, and it's not necessarily indicated in the work, but it's sort of necessary for me to get to that place for the work.
You see the material, the army, the uniform,
A couple of people that have come in, like not a lot of people have seen the noose reference too. Yeah, but not everyone.
There was an exclamation mark.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I felt the noose straight away.
Yeah. And that idea of one size fits all, of trying to like put people into one sort of uniform cultural area.
I mean, it's brave to do work about males in Darwin, definitely.
Oh well, look, it's as I said, like when I first moved here, it's screamingly obvious that it's a very sort of kind of very specific kind of male culture here. It's something that's hard to ignore. Yeah. And I always like making work about things that people don't talk about, whether or not that's communicated in the work or not. Sometimes yes, sometimes no, but they're the things that kind of interest me. kind of things that people don't like to talk about, or just the elephant in the room.
How did you make the fabric, Simon? Did you have it made up, or were those prints already in existence? Are those the famous?
Yes. I actually bought that. I bought that fabric in Spotlight here in Darwin, and I took it with me to Vietnam, and I had them made by tailors in Vietnam. So I sort of was thinking about it before I went and took the material with me and had it.
So it's not screen-proof, it's what?
No, that's the fabric.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's got a army camouflage.
Yeah, they're typical army camouflage. Yeah, you know, if you look, people like make pants and it is like people make, you know, clothes and bed spreads and furniture covers and stuff with it. You can get them big rolls. And I loved working with these tailors in Vietnam, because they went, oh, if you're making ties, you know, you have to like, you know, they look, and they put their brand, and it's lined also like a tie, is the inside lining with some red satin thing. So I basically gave them a tie, and they said, I want this made with this material 4 meters long. So they've made an exact tie, which is kind of, you don't get to see that, but again, that's kind of important to me. The idea that it's like a nice reproduction of tie, and it's the height of it. If you're lucky when you tie it, is the same height as me. It's about 180.
And the emphasis on repetition.
Sorry?
The repetition?
Well, I tend to make things in groups. I think that's just an aesthetic choice, that I like making things in more than one. I think it gives it builds up a relationship. If you have more than one, they sort of have more presence as a group than as a single one. I think that's just an aesthetic choice that I like.